So let's talk about something huge happening in India right now. We're talking about one of the biggest educational transformations in modern history. It's called the National Education Policy 2020, and it's basically a blueprint to completely reimagine learning for an entire generation. It is a bold, bold vision, so let's dive in and break down what it's all about. 34. For 34 years, India's education policy was pretty much left untouched. Now, think about that for a second. A world that gave us the internet, smartphones, and AI was still operating on an academic playbook from 1986. Well, that is until now. So this begs a massive question, right? What does it actually take to reshape an entire educational system for over 300 million students? I mean, we're not talking about a few small tweaks here and there. This is a fundamental overhaul of how knowledge is shared and absorbed. And the answer to that challenge is this, the National Education Policy, or NEP 2020. It was approved after years of discussion and, get this, over 2 lakh suggestions from the public. It's the first brand new policy in more than 3 decades, and it's designed to be holistic, flexible, and truly multidisciplinary. At its very heart, the policy stands on 5 foundational pillars. First, there's access, which is all about making sure education is available to absolutely everyone, no matter where they are. Then, equity, to ensure every single student gets a fair shot. Quality, to push Indian education to world-class standards. And finally, you've got affordability and accountability, working together to make sure the system is both financially reachable and institutionally responsible. Okay, so what's the first thing you notice? Well, the policy kicks off by tearing down the old, rigid school structure that, let's be honest, many of us grew up with. It's a complete teardown of a system that often valued memorizing facts over actually understanding them. And here you can really see the difference, side by side. The old 10+2 model was so rigid, wasn't it? It forced you into these hard streams, science, arts, commerce. The new 5+3+3+4 vision, it's all about flexibility. It's about breaking down those walls and focusing on what a student can do, not just what they can cram for an exam. So let's walk through this new student journey. It all starts with the foundational stage, focusing on play-based learning for the little ones. From there, you move into the preparatory stage, all about discovery and hands-on activities. Then comes the middle stage, with experiential learning across all subjects. And finally, a super flexible secondary stage, where students can really mix and match subjects to follow their passions. Now, this idea of flexibility doesn't just stop at school. Oh no. It extends right into higher education, giving students this incredible new power to literally design their own academic path. And the way it does that is, frankly, revolutionary. This right here is a total game changer. It's called the multiple entry and exit system. Imagine you start a degree, but life happens, and you need to take a break after 1 year. In the old system, that time was lost. Now, you can exit with a certificate, come back later, study for another year, and you walk away with a diploma. It turns education into this adaptable, lifelong journey. So you might be asking, what's the magic that makes all of this work? Well, it's the Academic Bank of Credit. Just think of it as a digital wallet for your education. Every course you pass deposits credits into your account. You can earn these credits from different universities, then cash them all in together for your final degree. It makes true academic freedom possible. All right, so beyond all this flexibility, a huge part of the vision is simply about opening doors and expanding access to learning for everyone. And the data shows this isn't just a goal on a piece of paper, it's really happening. I mean, just look at these numbers. Between 2014 and 2022, there was almost a 14% jump in higher education institutions overall, and the number of universities themselves shot up by nearly 50%. This is the kind of physical expansion you need to make higher education a reality for millions more people. And this is where this story gets even more powerful. In that exact same period, female enrollment in higher education just skyrocketed by over 31%. That incredible surge has pushed India right to the brink of gender parity in higher ed, which is just a monumental achievement. And that focus on inclusion really shines through here. Enrollment from scheduled castes grew by almost 44%, while for scheduled tribes, it jumped by a staggering 65%. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They represent a seismic shift in access for communities that have been historically left behind. Of course, access isn't just about having a college to go to, It's also about being able to afford it. And that's where initiatives like the Vigilaxmi scheme come in. It's a fully digital platform that provides collateral-free loans. And with features like interest subvention, where the government actually helps pay part of the interest, it's designed to tear down those financial walls that stand in a student's way. Now, this policy isn't just focused inward. It has a really bold vision for making India a global hub for knowledge. And this is basically a two-way street, taking India's best institutions out into the world while also welcoming the world's best into India. For the very first time, we're seeing India's premier educational brands setting up campuses abroad. You've got IIT Madras in Zanzibar, Tanzania, IIT Delhi in Abu Dhabi, and IIM Ahmedabad setting up in Dubai. This is all about exporting India's educational excellence. And, like I said, the traffic is flowing both ways. We're now seeing top foreign universities, like Deakin and Wollongong from Australia, opening campuses right here in India. This creates a global academic environment at home, giving students access to an international education without even needing a passport. So where does all of this take us? What's the end game? Well, the final piece of this massive puzzle is all about building a real culture of innovation that will power India's future. The road ahead is all about a huge, renewed push for research. And to make that happen, the government has set up the National Research Foundation, or NRF. We're talking about a massive 50,000 crore rupee fund here with a clear mission to seed and grow a culture of research in universities all across the country, not just in a few elite institutions. You know, if you had to boil down the entire philosophy of this policy into a single sentence, this quote from the document itself just nails it. Education must nurture curiosity, not just grades. It perfectly captures that shift away from rote learning towards inspiring real critical thinking and creativity. And this all brings us to the final big question. The blueprint is here. It's ambitious, it's comprehensive, and the wheels are already in motion. The old walls are coming down. So the question we're left with is this. With this new roadmap, is India on track to become the world's next knowledge superpower?